so that people can see what I'm doing. Okay. And I'll put my little question mark thing over the whole cards. So you guys will see the same as me. So it's a bit too difficult for me to set it up so that you can see the cards but I can't. And I don't think that'd be very useful, because then you'd just be looking at all the bad stuff that's happening. Okay, so I need to turn on my script. Oh. Well, I already saw that was 2s, so we'll just pretend I didn't see that. Oh, that was 4s. GG, thanks Jankan. Alright guys, so I'm not looking at any whole cards the whole game. So my strategy in the early stages, whenever it's the first 3 or 4 positions, I'm just folding. I'm folding everything, because you should always be very tight in the early positions, in the early stages. There are a few hands that you can raise in the first 3 positions. You know, Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, Ace 10 suited, Pocket 8s, Pocket 7s, and better. Maybe you can raise King Queen suited, and there are some hands that you can maybe limp. So like small pocket pairs, pocket 2s, pocket 3s, you can limp them just to try and flop a set. Everything else you just fold. Now when you get to late position and it's folded to you in the button or the cutoff, that's when you can steal more hands, and you want to be stealing around a 25% range. So in the chat I can put range 20 for you guys. So that's a 20% range, and if you're on the button, that's a bit too tight. You can maybe raise more hands than that, and on the cutoff as well. So you know, any pair you can raise any ace, any suited connector like a 8-9 suited, 8-7 suited, even like a Jack 9 suited. Well, that's in the range here. So anything that looks okay, you know, looks nice. And then when you get in the small blind, in the early stages, you probably want to be playing around 50%. So in the small blind, you want to be playing around that 50% range. Now that usually you want to raise, but you could maybe limp the small blind with some of the bad hands if you wanted to just try something different. That's fine. So that's our early stage strategy. The early blind levels, we're really tight in the under the gun and the early positions, and then in the late positions we're stealing a bit more. And post flop, we're just looking to hit a hand and bet, and if we don't hit our hand, we give up. You don't want to make any crazy bluffs. You don't want to put in any chips unnecessarily. Be very, very ABC, very basic. And then what we do is we wait for the blinds to get bigger, and as soon as we get down to 10, 15 big blinds, we just are looser, and that's when we start our push fold strategy. So it's similar to the early stage. You have to be a bit tight in the early positions, but in the later positions, when it's in the small blind, you just shove anything. And on the button, you want to shove a lot as well. So my strategy in this game is to maybe look for some situations to steal if there are a lot of people folded already, and then wait for the blinds to get bigger, and just look to push or fold in late position. Oh, I really want to see my chip stack as well. I wonder if I can do that. Oh, okay. This is pretty important. I need to be able to see how many chips I have, so I know what my stack is like. So we're in position, getting 2 to 1. I'm definitely calling. There are some hands that I would just fold here, but because it's only me and him, and I'm in position, I'm going to play the hand. I don't really care what I have. So he's probably going to c-bet, and I'm just going to call. The reason is, it's a small bet. I'm getting good odds, and if he has high cards, he's probably just checking the turn, and I can just steal it back off him. If he bets twice, I'm just folding. Because people usually don't bet twice without having a hand. Well, obviously I can't call there when he shoves all in, but I think calling the pre-flop and the flop is fine because of we had position and we're getting good pot odds. So having position is really important in poker as well. Because you're last to act, you get all the information before you make your decision. So now we're getting towards the late position. I'm definitely going to raise and be active if it's folded to us. Let's put more question marks in here. Now I should also be looking at the players quite closely to see who I can try and take chips off. Now this is quite a weak play from both of them. I could raise here just to try and take the pot down, but I think this guy with 800 might just be a bit spewy. So I'm just going to call, and then because I'm in position, I can look for situations to bluff when it gets checked around to me. If it goes check, check, I'm betting. Okay, so I'm betting. I'm going to bet a bit bigger because it's four-way. If it was just heads up, maybe I'd bet half pot, but because there's 3 other people, I want to make it a bit more expensive. I'm going to bet again. This guy, he's representing like a medium pair, maybe a pocket 6s or pocket 7s, and I think if I bet twice into him, I think he's folding. He could also have a flush draw. So if I bet and the river is a non-diamond, I'm just going all in or betting again. And we win that one. The first hand that we win blind. So whenever people make those plays where they play very passively, if you're in position, you just have to watch what the board runs out like and think about what kind of hands they could have. So on that flop, 2-2-5 with a flush draw, pre-flop it went call, 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 call. So the kind of hands that this Black Panther has are hands like 6s, 7s, maybe like ace-6 of diamonds or something like that. And on the turn jack, all of those hands are going to fold. Pocket 6s, pocket 7s, all of his flush draws. He might call a flush draw twice, but so let's do it again. Went call, call, I called. Flop 2-2-5, went check, 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 and then I bet. And he just check called. So the kind of hands that he would check call here, flush draws and pairs. I don't think he would check call with the 2. He might check call with a 5, but that's okay. Now on the turn jack, if I bet into him twice and he has a hand like a 5 or a flush draw or pocket 6s or pocket 7s, he's going to be very scared that I'm betting into him twice with a jack or a 2, or I could have a pair bigger than 6s. Like I could have pocket 9s or something like that, pocket 8s. So he should be folding. And that's what he did, he folded. So now we're just waiting for the blinds to go around again. I'm not going to try and steal from this position. I'm just going to not play any hands in the first four or five positions. Because I really want to have a nice stack for when it gets down to push and fold. Because that's when I want to make the most money. And again, the situations that I'm really looking for are when it's folded around to me in the small blind and I can push all in, and when it's folded around to me on the button and I can, push all in, or I can steal. Same thing with the cutoff. So cutoff, button, small blind, that's when I really want to be active. So this guy's making a small 3-bet. This is usually a very strong play. So I would say more often he has a hand like pocket jacks or pocket 10s or better. Maybe an ace king. Some people would do this with ace queen. But, it's not like he's doing this with ace 5 offsuit or, king 10. It's not very likely. Whenever you get 3-bet small in a sit and go, you should assume that it's just a nut kind of hand, aces, kings, queens, jacks, something like that. Unless you have some kind of read. Alright. Yeah, so this might be a little bit more boring than a normal 9-man for the early stages, because I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait for the blinds to get bigger. Unless I see a good opportunity to steal. I'm quite surprised that no one's busted out yet. Normally people go a bit crazy in the early blind levels. This guy probably has a jack. Okay. I guess the other guy with pocket 6s just didn't want to play anymore. Okay, I should be watching these guys. Alright, here we go. We're in the big blind. I'm looking to play this hand, guys. Unless some crazy action happens. I don't mind playing in the big blind if I get good odds. It's going to be harder to win out of position, but maybe I can do something if they display some weakness. See, this is going to be a hard hand to win because there's 3 players I have to try and beat. Usually these pots are good because you know what your hand is and you're trying to look for that, great flop. So, alright, whatever. I'll call it anyway just to see what happens, but I doubt I'm going to win this one. Because the easy hands for me to win are the heads up hands when it's just me and one guy. Like, I can never win this because I can't outplay when there's 2 guys behind me and one guy's already bet out. So this is a pretty good example of why playing out of position is much harder than playing in position, and also why when you're playing against multiple opponents it's also much harder, because if I do anything there, there's still 2 guys behind me that have yet to act. So normally those pots, you call for pot odds to try and hit that really good flop, the 2 pair, the 3 of a kind, or better, straight, flush, those kind of hands. But if we get into heads up pots, or even 3-way, because if both of them check, you can usually pick up the pot. Yeah. It wasn't really the best spot for me to try and win without looking, but whatever. It didn't cost me that much. Blinds are starting to get higher, getting to the more important stage. Alright, here we go. From the button, I'm definitely going to steal if it's folded to me. I'm not going to get involved with this guy. I could have just gone AFK for like 10 minutes and then come back when the blinds are high. But maybe, there was one good pot that we won. I think that was pretty interesting. Just won an 9-man turbo. Congratulations, Mike Murphy. Well done. I'm going to steal if it's folded to me. I'm hoping that the button folds and then I can get position. Nope. I don't really want to steal this one because the chip leader is on the button. So I think if it's folded, yeah, I'm just going to fold. So if anyone's new to the stream, there are some links down below in the FAQ for ICM programs and links that can help you with sit and go's strategy. Just check that out. I usually show the ICM trainer program, which is a free program, on stream. There's actually a highlight video now of me using that, so if you want to know how to use that to improve your push fold game, there's the video you can watch. Just folding again, gonna wait for the blinds. Hmm. This is a good play. This guy limped the small blind and the big blind just decided to shove all in. It's a little bit deep. He was risking quite a lot of chips, but usually when people limp the small blind, it's a weak play. So you can attack that. That's another situation that I'm looking to attack. If people are limping, I want to try and take advantage of that. Big blind time. Okay. One limp. This is a little bit different because he's limping from middle position. Usually when people do this, it's somewhat of a hand, you know. It could be a Broadway hand, suited connector, a small pair. He could be trapping. Um, I'm risking 1,000 chips to win 270, so a shove here would be okay, but I think his range here is a bit stronger than if he limped the small blind, so I'm just going to check and try and win it from him post flop. This is a decent flop for me to lead out and bet, because all the hands with deuce, 4, and 6 in it, he wouldn't really limp those hands, but I could easily have that in my range. So I'm going to bet like 155. Hopefully he has like a Broadway combination and he just folds. There we go. So he won that one. And now we're down to 12 big blinds. So he's limping again. If I decide to limp, I'm playing against two people. Maybe I could play it in that situation. It only cost me 60 chips, that's okay. Well, I don't have to play it now. We are getting further. Ace 9, Ace 10. See, limp calling Ace 9 is not a good play because when somebody raises his Ace 9, you know, like no one's gonna raise him with a worse hand than Ace 9. So, yeah. Are you getting stream sniped? Oh, Pistolas. Yeah, I thought that was a joke. No, no, this is just one game that I'm trying to win without looking at my cards. We'll see if we can win this without looking. No, I can't see. I can't see my cards at all. Hmm. Okay. Okay, now we're getting to the fun part, guys. I'm going to be tight from early position because I still have 11 big blinds. I don't want to be pushing into 4 people without knowing what my hand is. Because when I push 11 big blinds in this position, I'm going to want a hand like a suited ace or a suited Broadway or a pocket pair, something like that. So it's still quite a tight range. There's the 6. Okay, I'm getting good odds here, but we do have a problem. Even if it's folded around to me, it costs me 10% of my stack to try and win this pot, and I'm trying to win it off the chip leader. So it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to put enough pressure on him to get him to fold, even though it's only a heads up pot, and we're out of position. So I think what I'm going to do here is just fold and try and win pots against other people that I can actually put pressure on. There are certainly some hands that I would call there that that I would like to see a flop with, but unfortunately we don't. I can't see my hand, so I won't be doing that. I'm going to preserve my chips for pushing all in, hopefully. Like in this situation, if it was folded to me, I would have just pushed all in with 10 big blinds. Here, I'm in a bit of a tough spot because the chip leader is in the big blind when I'm on the button. So I think if it's folded to me, I won't push all in with 10 big blinds, but I will push all in with around maybe 7 or 6 to try and preserve my stack. Okay, now the blinds have gone up to 160, so now we have around 8 big blinds. So I would like to shove here, but the big blind's quite short. So the big blind's going to be calling me with a lot of hands, probably 80%. So I have to be relatively tight here again. Just playing a tight game and waiting for a spot in late position where I can shove all in. Similar situation. We are getting a bit short, but the small blind's going to call me. And we're in early position, so we're pushing into 4 people. So I think I can afford to wait until the blinds hit me one more time. Let's check out your hand, Mike Murphy. I'll fold that one. I'll wait till the blinds hit me. Okay. Was I right to call him? Is this heads up? Okay. This is heads up. No, this is a good call, Mike. King 5 offsuit, heads up. Yeah, no, King 5 offsuit, heads up is a good call. If you check down below in the FAQ, there'll be a link to the heads up Nash range, and that's a chart, and you can see exactly how many big blinds you can call when you get heads up, and how many big blinds you can push. And there's 2 different charts. One's for calling, one's for pushing. So if you look up King 5 offsuit, for 10 big blinds, it should be a call. So that was a good call. I don't want to call, without looking at my hands. So I have to just, now that I'm 5 big blinds, I have to wait for the first time I get a chance to shove first in, and I'm shoving. It's kind of unlucky that when I push on my button, the chip leader is in the big blind, because he's probably calling me very loose. Okay, fold, fold, and I'm going to go. Okay, let's go. Whenever you get down to this stack of 5 big blinds, 4 big blinds, we're on 5 now. We really need to look to push all in. Well, that's pretty bad. Let's see if we win. We might win. Do we win? Hey, we win! That's great. What do we have? 5-8. It's always good. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. I just have to um, tell one of my animals to be quiet. The rooster. Yeah, it was the damn chicken. Yeah, the damn chickens. They got locked out of their house because of the wind, so I had to like open it for them. Alright. We've got a decent stack here. We can put some pressure on these guys. Hey, we win. Down to 5. Close to the bubble. I want to be tight here because I'm getting close to the bubble. I don't want to push into the chip leader for 10 big blinds. I want to push blind versus blind into this Paul Mal guy. So I'm going to fold that. Same here. 9 big blinds, you have to be pretty tight. Once you get down to that 5 and 6 big blind range, that's when you can start pushing 50% of your hands, 70% of your hands. In, in the small blind, you can push 100%. So I'm just going to stay tight until we get a little bit shorter. Or I see a situation to steal from the button. Stealing my button's going to be hard because I have to steal into the chip leader. It's not really that optimal. A lot of these micro stakes sit and goes is just about other people making too many mistakes. And whenever people bust out, you automatically get closer to the money, so it's good for you. If he limps, I'm pushing all in. If he raises, I'm probably just gonna fold. And maybe he'll give me a walk. Hey, he gives me a walk. That's good. No one knows if the recent gambling in Portugal is taxing the players' profits. I have no idea, Bistolus. Sorry, man. So we're still on 10 big blinds, so I'm not going to attack the chip leader. So the Panther limped. Bet the flop 200. No, he's betting the turn 400. Limping's a pretty weak play. Kings, okay. He's just trapping, but he ran into 3 2s. Bubble time. So here we go, guys. This is where we can hopefully make it in the money. We're in a pretty good situation here because there's 2 other guys that have a similar stack and 1 chip leader. The chip leader should be pushing a lot, but he's probably going to be too tight. That means that when it folds to us, we can push instead. And I don't mind pushing into the guy with 2,700 because he should be very tight against me. You know, he's not going to want to lose that many chips. Unfortunately, I can't call if he goes all in because I don't know what my hand is. But if he limps, I'm pushing. Okay, can't call. I'm not getting 2 to 1. So if I was getting 2 to 1, I could call because getting 2 to 1, you can just call anything because of the pot odds. If it's folded to me, I'm pushing all in. Blind versus blind. If it's not, I have to fold. Pretty unfortunate. Okay, next hand. Alright, I have 2 choices here. I can push here with 4 big blinds into the chip leader, or I can wait next hand and push into the guy with 2,700. I think it's better to push now because there's 1 less person that might call me. Well, now I have to fold because, well, yeah, this guy's all in. And I'm hoping that he gets called. Now, because I've got 4 big blinds, I'm pretty much forced to go all in now. Because if I take 1 more lot of blinds, I'm going to lose all my fold equity, and they're just going to call me with any 2 cards. But I think with 4 big blinds, I've still got some fold equity against the big blinds. So I'm going to push all in. Hope that we can steal all the blinds. Not a great situation for us, but you know, the spots that we could have had, other people beat us. Alright, probably gonna lose this. Maybe? Yeah, we won! Must have had a 5 or something, that was awesome. Alright, now we can play. We almost had the chip lead. I kinda want to look at that hand, but I'm not going to. This small blind should be very, very tight. So he folds. That's good. Next 10, I'm pushing all in if it's folded to me. I kind of want to look and see what I had just for like the fun factor. Jack 5. Okay. Sure. Alright. I could do like raise or push here, but I'm worried that the small blind's just going to get frustrated and call me, so I'm going to leave it and hope that the small blind gets busted out here against the guy with 4,000. Wow, good flop for King 6. This is a perfect situation for me though. This is perfect. I'm going to push all in here. And the reason is all 3 of them have the same stack size and I'm the clear chip leader. So I'm going to push here and basically say this is my bubble. And I'm hoping that they're all very tight, but this guy seems to want to call me, so that's pretty bad. That's pretty loose, actually. But yeah, we split somehow. Maybe I also had King Jack. Now that I'm the chip leader on the bubble, I really need to take advantage and just push every time it's folded to me. Because these guys want to make it in the money. If he limps, I'm pushing all in. Okay, let's go. That's a very weak play. When people limp the small blind, you can usually attack that. So I'm attacking. If it's folded to me, I'm pushing all in. Let's go. Next hand, I'm pushing all in. The big blind has to be very, very tight. And the small blind, he's short, but he's still short enough to fold. Unfortunately, the cutoff woke up with a hand. I'm pushing all in here. Same reason. They're all three of them are tight, or they should be tight, because they all have a similar stack size. They don't want to bust out before the short stack. It's a flip. I can see the percentage. That's always good. We split again somehow. How is this happening? I guess I had king high as well. It's fine with me. Pretty lucky. That's not a good call, by the way. When he called king queen there, that's not a good call. Because there was one guy that's shorter than him. So king queen's not strong enough there. Jack 10 is not a good call either. I can put pressure on these two because this guy's short with 900, but unfortunately the short guy is all in, so can't do much there but fold. But if he had folded, I definitely would have pushed all in. And the bubble continues. Well, I could push here, but I think I'm going to fold because now the button has a 4,000 chip stack. He can actually hurt me if he wakes up with a hand, and the short stack's in the big blind. So the big blind doesn't have any incentive to fold because he's already the shortest guy at the table. So I'm just going to give that one up. If I had a bigger lead there, if I had maybe 6,000 and the button was around 2,000, I would have gone for that. But because I'm now joint chip leader, I don't want to risk half of my stack unnecessarily. And I need to push into the guys that I can put pressure on, not the short stacks. Unless it's blind versus blind. If it's blind versus blind, you just shove all in. If they fold, I'm shoving, pushing all in. Mr. ARLM. Okay, let's go. Now, the big blind cannot call me here without pocket jacks or better. See, that's not a call, but it doesn't matter because I guess we win that one somehow. But ace queen there is not a good call for him because there's a guy that's much shorter. He doesn't want to risk busting out there. So that's not a correct call, and he should have just folded the ace queen. Now we're in the money. I'm not going to push my 8,000 because a similar reason to before. The short stack's in the big blind. I can't put any pressure on him, especially now that the bubble's over. So I'm just going to give it up there. Twitch history, guys. We might be the first on poker on Twitch to win a game without looking at our cards. I don't know for sure though, but we'll see. Heads up strategy, very easy. I'm going all in every single hand. Every single hand. Now this is a profitable heads up strategy against most players that are too tight, but you will have to tighten up against some players if they start calling you loose. And down below in the FAQ, there's the heads up Nash chart, which will tell you what you should be pushing and folding for certain stack sizes and calling, you know. So he's on 25, he's on 13. We did it! We did it! That's going in the highlight reel. That's awesome. Pretty hilarious. Let's load up another one. I'm gonna go back to playing normally now.